do we have everyone from your end for the call?
I think we have possibly one other individual joining, Diane Boris.
Diane Boris.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we have everyone here, the three commissioners, our solicitor, Attorney Edelman. So we're ready to move forward. Everyone ready? Okay, at this time, I will now convene the public hearing.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, thank you for your time this morning. We are conducting a public hearing today to consider a financing on behalf of Lehigh Valley Health Network. On August 5th, the board of the Carbon County Hospital Authority met and approved a financing on behalf of the health network, which includes the issuance of tax-exempt bonds in an amount up to $100 million to finance projects on behalf of Lehigh Valley Health Network that include the refinancing or reimbursement of the costs of construction of the new hospital here in Carbon County, which is located in Lehighton, as well as the refinancing or reimbursement of costs of construction of Lehigh Valley Hospital Hecktown Oaks, which is located in Easton, Pennsylvania. The purpose of today's hearing is to provide an opportunity for members of the public to ask questions or comment regarding the project. It's a requirement of the Internal Revenue Code as a precondition to issuance of the bonds on behalf, by the authority on behalf of Lehigh Valley Health Network. A notice of the public hearing was posted on the county website 8 days ago and has been available since that time, again in compliance with the Internal Revenue Code to provide notice to the community about the proposed project. So at this point, I think it would be appropriate to pause and see if there's any questions first from the Board of Commissioners.
I have none.
Okay. And then we'll open it up to the public to see if there's any questions from the public today. Okay. Hearing none, it would be appropriate at this point to close the hearing.
Okay, being no further discussion or questions on the hearing, the hearing is now closed.
Great, thank you. You now can continue on with your agenda.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, everyone on the line okay? Are you gonna stay on, disconnect? Any questions from Lehigh Valley? Question?
Kevin Cunningham from Ballard Spars on, just to let you know in case there are any questions of a legal nature about the financing.
There were no questions from the people present or calls?
The press.
Or the press, oh, I'm sorry. Let's do that now. Any questions by the press on the action that was taken, or the hearing this morning?
Just with the bonds, what liability does the county pose? Is there any liability with the county with this?
None. There is no liability to the county itself.
Yeah,
Or the hospital authority, I might add. And we do have two of the authority members here, Edie Lukasevich and Scott Rarick, who have been on the board for quite some time.
and there would not be any, hitches for us in the future if we wanted to do bonds for ourselves. That would not affect us. I think that was one of the biggest things that was our biggest concern.
That's correct. It does not implicate the county's
Correct.
taxing power. There's no obligation on behalf of the county. It won't impact your ability to do your own financings in the future.
Correct. Unlike previous bonds that we've had through the authority.
That's right.
And all those are settled, so this is the only bond we have at this current time, I believe. Any other questions?
Just one last question, time frame for when this bond is taking place? How long will this take?
It's expected that the bonds will be issued in September.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions by the media? Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone from Lehigh Valley. Look forward to working with you.
They could stay on the line.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple items on the agenda relating to the project as well.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
this time, we'll call the weekly meeting of the Carbon County Board of Commissioners to order. Please rise for a moment of silence, prayer, and a pledge of allegiance. O Lord, giver of life and source of our freedom, we thank you for the many blessings you have given our community. We invite your presence in our meeting. We know that it is from your goodness that we have what we have received from you. Gracious and loving God, we understand that you call us to be the stewards and the caretakers of our community. Help us to serve in that role. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of constituting the accuracy of written minutes. Tapes are reused, eliminating recorded records of these proceedings. Approval of the minutes of the previous meeting held August 11th, 2022.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
I abstained since I was absent. Are there any guests concerning county business at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on.
Report of executive sessions held.
There were no executive sessions held.
Next item, for adoption, County Ordinance Number 22-001, adopting and approving an amendment to the Articles of Incorporation, extending the term of existence of the Carbon County Hospital Authority for 50 years.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Resolution number 22-025, approving the issuance of tax-exempt bonds for the Lehigh Valley Health Network project for the health, safety, and welfare of the people in the area.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? All right? Okay, thank you very much. Department reports.
The budget transfers?
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
There are no supplemental appropriations. Expenditures, approval of payroll check numbers 74513 through 74562, and direct deposit check numbers 6044679 through 6045126 for the payroll paid through the payroll fund checking account for all county funds totaling $654,070.60. This is the payroll dated August 12th, 2022.
Motion to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Approval of check numbers 230639 through 230786 for expenditures through the general fund clearing account totaling $473,984.42.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Do you want to turn it off?
We're good.
Next item is the treasurer's report.
Move to accept.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Ratify the authorization to open a new general fund checking account effective August 1, 2022.
Motion to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. Okay, at this time, we'll recess the meeting of the Carbon County Board of Commissioners. I now reconvene the salary board meeting. Yes, are there any guests concerning salary board business at this time?
Next item is the report of executive sessions held.
There was one executive session held on August 16th, 2022 at 10 a.m.
Next item is courts, juvenile court, Judge Surface.
Morning, gentlemen.
All right,
So under the courts, we make a motion to change the rate of one clerical specialist from $11.38 per hour, that's grade 5, step A, to $12.07 per hour, that is grade 5, step C, effective August 18th, 2022.
Second.
Judge Surface?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Register of Wills, Mrs. Pepe?
Hi, good morning. I'd like to make a motion to establish the position of Rome Records Genealogy Ancestry File Clerk at $11.72 per hour, grade 5, step B, effective August 22nd, 2022.
Second.
Mrs. Pepe?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
I would like to make a motion to abolish the position of one coordinator of records genealogy ancestry researcher at $11.72 per hour, grade 5, step B, effective August 22nd, 2022.
Second.
Mrs. Pepe?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next item, corrections. Change the rate of one assistant site coordinator from $19.88 per hour, grade 14, step E, to $19.30 per hour, grade 14, step D, effective August 18th, 2022.
Motion to change the rate?
Second.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. Any further business for the salary board? Hearing none, we'll adjourn the salary board meeting until our regular monthly meeting in September. Okay, at this point in time, Lisa, would you join us? We'll reconvene the election board meeting.
Morning.
Morning.
Approve the minutes from the election board meeting held July 14th, 2022.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. Are there any guests concerning election board business? Hearing none, we'll move on.
I don't know if you guys wanted to start about the grant or just want me to explain it. But
We'll go right ahead.
Here's a couple words on it.
So I'm very grateful that we applied for this grant. It is going to give us $224,813.76. I did like an analysis of all the money that we spend in the election and what this covers. And average per election for this November and next primary is about $161,000. It covers anything that goes by mail, any support from our vendor, which is Dominion, sheriff's deputies, printing and mailers of all of the annual mailers we do, like the national change of address, the 5-year voters, printing of all the absentee ballots, mail-ins, election day. We can include now, which we've never really included, I mean, it was just in a regular budget, but like all the maintenance that they deliver, all the equipment, all the poll worker supplies, any rental space, rovers for election day. I mean, it pretty much covers everything that you can kind of think of. There are some things attached to it, however, I feel like pretty, I feel good about it. I mean, everything that we do, that we've been doing is what is included in the grant. We just have to make sure there's communication to the Department of State. Everything that we pre-canvass, we canvass, all of those things that we've been doing since 2020. I just feel good about it. I mean, I'm hoping you guys do too.
Yeah, no, and I think we've been or you have been complying with it, for us at the county, because, you know, we've started at 7 o'clock. Usually we're finished up by 10 o'clock at night. So we've been doing the rules for a long time.
Right.
I don't think, it's very hard for us to do that. I think our group that works here is very diligent on
The
what their
18.
work is, yes.
I call them the
You have the 18, and I think some of them, they look at us, and I think you get comments like, how do you do this?
Yeah, I have counties that ask.
Because
that.
you're organized.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, I'd like to also, you know, maybe get some, like purchase some, you know, more security, more like, you know, ways to sort things, you know, that kind of thing. Which which, I mean, now we can do.
Yeah, and it's sort of like thrown in front of us like a couple months ahead of time. And now I think we have to more or less, use the money that we can now and try to make it better for next year, for like even for the workers. I know we talked about maybe doing something with the building with different,
Right. Changing
yes,
things,
yeah,
Now,
some
I'm-
little things to help you
Of course, I'm
out.
more worried about the presidential, but as long as we're in communication with the state,
Yeah,
I know I know a couple years ago it happened that, midnight came and, counties just went home. They just wanna know how many mail-ins you sent out as far as how many you received, so they can see if any of their totals could change that drastically for a candidate. That's the bottom line that we were told at our conference. Again, just communication is what they want. And we've never, had an issue with that. They call me or I call them or whatever. So, I feel pretty confident that, it's still gonna go as smoothly as it did.
Yeah, we'll tell you that I think all three of us were in agreement at first that we would not accept it because we were concerned with the ability to meet all the criteria and the effects it could have if we didn't do everything they required. But $224,000 is a big chunk to really turn away, but at least I have reconsidered. Pretty confident that we never know what's gonna turn up, that's the problem. And I think we're just gonna have to provide the necessary equipment and manpower to ensure that we are done and follow all the guidelines of the state, as long as they don't keep changing it every 20
Well,
minutes.
Right, and I'm not really, to be honest, I'm not worried about this year, I'm really not worried about next year. The presidential is a whole different animal. So, we will definitely need more people, if mail-in ballots keep going the way they are.
I think importantly for the taxpayer, right now we have a projected $342,000 budget for your office. This is gonna cover just under 50% of it. The warning is though, this is an annual grant, if I read it correctly.
Correct.
So we need to continue to budget as if we're not getting it. And then we can make the necessary transfers and movement of funds, after the funds have been allocated from the state, is what I would say, just again, in case it doesn't come back a subsequent year.
And I don't know, I'm sure you read it, we talked about this at the conference, and I believe you don't have to apply every year if
Right.
you don't want the money.
Right,
Or if for some reason, you
Right.
can't do whatever.
Yeah.
On the other hand is, pretty much everything that we have to do, you're doing it whether you get the money or not.
Yeah.
right, yeah,
So,
yeah.
I don't that's the issue, you know what I mean, so.
Yeah.
um,
It's almost wondering why they had to tell us this, because
Yeah.
we're already doing it.
Right.
So it should have been almost a quote-unquote no strings attached.
Exactly.
You need this money to run more effective, more efficient, more transparent elections.
And,
Right.
and even with us, like the three of us, we were in agreement not to do it. And then when we went to CCAP and talked to all the other counties and we're doing it already. Why not take the money? And I think that's one of the things, I think the information that we got up front was too vague. Was it tied to the drop boxes? There's so many things that I looked at it was tied to and it really wasn't.
Right.
And we are complying, so it's what we've been doing.
Yeah, and that is another grant that we're getting for security purposes,
Correct.
but which we can use in other ways.
Right.
On election day or whatever that,
Any comments by our solicitor? He made us do it, so.
Right, yeah. It was based on advice of counsel, right, yeah.
So I,
Yeah.
Any further updates for elections?
Yeah, so I just wanted to let you know, so we had, a ton of permanents from 2020. People still had permanent on their record and they've been voting at the polls ever since. So unless they physically tell us, sign a form, we can't take them off. So we decided, when I say we, all the counties decided that anybody who didn't vote by mail, went to the polls since, like, from 21 to current, we removed the permanent, because they're getting letters and they're not canceling, so we took it upon ourselves. Legally, obviously, but we just were like, if we looked at their record and they haven't voted by mail-in since 2020, they've been going to the polls, obviously that's where they're headed. We had over 800 pages of voters I think it was about maybe 9,000. Well, we took off 3,900 that have been voting at the poll since. So, I mean, we're hoping that, I know the department wants to change some forms again, but we're hoping it doesn't. You know, people think that permanent means they have to register to vote every year. We're getting registration forms from people that have voted for 30 years. As soon as they see the word annual and permanent, they think it's a voter registration. So, that's another thing, with all this, like the money that we're getting, I wanna try to do some more trainings, not just for poll workers, but maybe just for the public, I don't know. We're looking into some things. But I mean, that's a huge chunk of what we mail out every year that nobody responds.
And with the first mailers that did go out, you had to check that.
Exactly.
And I think that's where it was confusing. They changed it that you're automatically now
Right.
gonna get it. And they were used to that first year and they didn't look anywhere beyond that.
Correct.
And
And I
now,
know
yeah.
when we were at the conference, they asked questions and they didn't really like our answers, but what they're saying is, so you can go online and register, you can go online and do a mail-in or an absentee, you can go online to do anything. You can't go online to cancel. You have to get a paper or print a paper and mail it to us. If you're doing everything online, the counties think, I mean, they should have that option. And it's, cause that's why people don't do it. They don't wanna mail, they want an envelope, we don't send an envelope, you know, we've heard it all. So, you know, this way at least we're down. Now, right now, we're at about 3,300 mail-ins for this election, which is kind of on track with what we, you know, from the primary at least, plus whatever we're gonna get, continue to get.
Well, I think we're all still concerned though with the available funding in years to come. Yeah, they say they're gonna put it there, and this is one of the few times they have funded a mandate, you know, on a lot of these things, that we will receive some of the funding, but your budget almost tripled or better in the last couple of years with the additional manpower, equipment, and other election. So, I still have that concern that the funding will be there in the future. And like a lot of legislation that's passed in Harrisburg, the funding does not come with it, and we're stuck with the bill and have to provide the services, so that's a concern.
The good thing is, we're not adding anything or changing anything. I mean, as far, like, I wanna do trainings, but I do those anyway. But as far as spending, we're not really spending, you know what I'm saying, we're not
But
really
it's the
spending more.
manpower that has really increased tremendously.
Yeah, I mean, and I really think at that point was 2020. Like, I had 20 workers, I've never had 20 workers in a day in the office. You know what I mean? But the way it's been working with these last two elections, with the people that I have, it seems to be fine. I'd like to get more people like Ellie, you were mentioning yesterday about like backup, but it's hard to find people to work.
Any further business for the election board? Election board meeting adjourned. Real quick, media, anything, Amy? You're good? Okay. thank you.
Question, do we have to make a motion for the commissioners to ratify this? Are we good?
Under the commissioners.
Right, does the election board though have to make a motion,
Make
a
a motion to
recommendation,
recommend. Yeah.
right?
At the meeting, you mean?
Did I screw up?
No, well, we haven't
You didn't
finished it,
adjourn
right?
yet.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought I did.
so I'll make a motion to make a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners to ratify the grant,
Oh.
the right?
Right.
Right.
I'll second that.
Do I- Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah,
We recommend we two us.
right, yeah.
Who made the mo- you
I
did
made the motion,
second.
Commissioner Arner seconded it, yeah.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Was it second?
Yes.
What was
Yeah.
it?
Oh, I vote yes.
He's gonna keep it open the rest of the year.
You didn't pass me.
Mr.
Okay, I
Russell?
vote
Yes,
yes.
I did.
Okay.
Didn't I?
I didn't remember it.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay. Same thing with that prison board, by recommending to ourselves.
Right, yeah, right. Exactly.
Okay, meeting is
Yeah.
now adjourned.
Yeah.
Now we'll go into the reconvene commissioners, get to work.
Thanks.
Okay, the next Next item is the personnel report for county departments.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The acknowledgements for courts and row offices.
Motion acknowledged.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Correspondence was received as listed. Copies will be made available to the press upon request. Advertising, Area Agency on Aging. Authorize the advertisement for the invitation to bid for food service, Area Agency on Aging.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
CDBG, authorize the advertisement of a Zoom public hearing notice regarding the modification to Lehighton Borough fiscal year 2019 CDBG funds to move $86,401 from clearance and demolition of 133-139 North Street to the Senior Center, new roof and additional upgrades.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Children and Youth for approval and execution, the fiscal year 2022-2023 purchase of service agreements and in-home provider agreements submitted for the following in-home service providers as per the attached rates and as listed.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
County policy for adoption, policy number 2022-02, allowing for all non-union employees, full-time, part-time, and seasonal, to be compensated at 1.5 times their regular straight hourly rate for working on a county-observed holiday. This policy is to be effective upon adoption.
Move to adopt.
And I'll second that, just on a little bit of discussion. I know we talked about this before. But when I was looking at it this morning, like it's time and a half on the holidays. I mean, isn't it usually like double time on a holiday? Or how is this gonna affect this with, if they don't have their 40 hours in already? Are they still gonna get this, or?
They're still going to get time and a half
Okay,
for physically working the holiday.
okay,
And I look at, this significantly impacts parking staff
Right.
and park staff who
Yeah.
regularly are non-union and work the holidays based upon the requirement.
well, and they should be compensated somewhere. I'm just looking at
Yeah.
it, not that they only have, 20 hours
Right,
in for the
yeah.
weekend, they don't
Yeah.
get overtime. for it.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Okay, Mr. Arner?
yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Elections. For ratification, the submission of a grant application for Act 2022-88 Election Integrity Grant through the Pennsylvania Department of State to support county election administration in the amount of $224,813.76. Funding is in compliance with the requirements related to pre-canvassing, canvassing, absentee and mail-in ballots, data, voter list maintenance, and post-election auditing.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Human Services for approval and execution. An agreement between the county and the Community Action Committee of the Lehigh Valley Incorporated, Second Harvest Food Bank, to provide services as the lead agency under the Temporary Emergency Food Assistance Program from October 1, 2022 to September 30th, 2023.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
MATP program for approval and execution. The allocation letter from the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services for the 2022-2023 MATP program, listing the initial allocation amount of $617,771.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Lanta for approval and execution. The service agreement between the county and Lanta for transportation services provided under the Medical Assistance Transportation Program for the period of July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2023 at the per trip rate cost of $86.75.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Purchase and service agreement for approval and execution, a purchase and service agreement with Edwards Business Systems of Wyomissing, Pennsylvania for a Lexmark printer at the cost of $1,935 to be billed at .0146 for black and white copies made per quarterly, located in the Lansford District Court Office. Maintenance will be fixed for the first 3 years. After 3 years, the price will increase 5%. This is CoStar's contract number 001-046.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
A purchase and service agreement under the Sourcewell contract with Edwards Business Systems of Wyomissing, Pennsylvania for 2 HP color laserjet printers at a cost of $3,840.26, .01446 for black and white, and .07348 per color copy billed quarterly, and 1 HP printer at a cost of $1,095.20 to be billed at 01446 for black and white copies, to be billed quarterly, located in the Information Technology Office. Maintenance will be fixed for the first 3 years. After 3 years, the maintenance increases 5%. The total cost is $4,935.46.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes, at this time, I'd like to call Christine to, wait,
No,
the wrong
do,
one.
let the next one go.
Next one.
We'll do
Yeah,
the next.
let her talk on this
Let-
one, right?
Go ahead.
Well, tell us-
Tell us about copies.
Getting ahead of myself.
You can do this motion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, do this motion. The solicitor's report, or Bob.
Okay. Solicitor's
Go ahead,
report.
Bob.
Okay.
Wayne was a little ahead of himself.
For the Area Agency on Aging, seeking approval and execution of a letter of agreement between the county and Pathstone Corporation to provide on-the-job training to prepare senior community service employment program participants for employment for the term of July 1st, 2022 through June 30th of 2023.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
And for Veterans Affairs, seeking approval and execution of an agreement between the County of Carbon and St. Luke's Hospital at 211 North 12th Street in Lehighton, Pennsylvania, for a lease of approximately 355 square feet within the property on an exclusive and shared use basis. This area within the property will be used as a satellite office for the Carbon County Veteran Affairs Office for medical services in the specialty of behavioral health. The term of this lease shall commence on September 1st, 2022 and continue for a period of 2 years. There is no fee for use of the premises, provided the county continues to provide the behavioral health services to veterans.
Motion upon discussion.
Second.
Okay, now, Chris, explain this, what services you'll be providing for the veterans at the hospital?
Sure, absolutely. So, as we know, it's difficult sometimes for veterans to get to our office here in Jim Thorpe. We have a parking spot for them. They're still a little dissuaded by the traffic and just coming into town. So, having the option to have it in Lehighton would be fantastic. We could do claims work from there. But we're also hoping to bring together with veterans there. They opened the Behavioral Health Walk-in Center. I believe it's open now and operating. So we worked out an agreement with Scranton Vet Center. They will be coming to Carbon County on Wednesdays to provide peer-to-peer counseling, individual counseling to our veterans.
No, that's good. And I said, I think we have to thank St. Luke's for it. Normally under a rental, you have to pay. And they were very nice to give this to us for no charge.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We approached them, I approached them just when I started a few years ago, hoping to just have a booth in the hospital because I noticed they had a lot of veterans coming through, in their waiting rooms and things like that. So they did me one better and offered us the office space, and I'm thrilled about this partnership, to be able to expand services to our veterans.
Okay, we're gonna pull the board. Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Okay, any further business?
Under further business, the Railroad Commission meeting scheduled for Tuesday, August 23rd at 1:30 PM is canceled.
Commissioners' reports, Mr. Arner?
I think I said quite a bit on a lot of the motions today, so I have to sort of like apologize to Trinity Lutheran Church in Lehighton. Last year, or last week, they gave a donation of $1,000 to the dog shelter, and I missed that, so I have to apologize. That's why I'm mentioning it today, and that's all for my report.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes, so this past week, Jim Thorpe Borough Council narrowly authorized its solicitor to draft proposed changes to a zoning amendment that would allow a property owner to install on-lot septic system for his land near Mock Chunk Lake Park. So this basically parallels Mock Chunk Lake Park from the breast of the dam really to the Summit Hill line. It's property bought by Mr. Canick, if I recall correctly. Jim Thorpe Borough is looking at modifying their zoning to allow on-site septic systems within a half a mile of Mock Chunk Lake Park, which currently is prohibited. They would allow them to at least within 1,000 feet of Mock Chunk Lake Park. And again, we always have to be vigilant when items of this nature could potentially impact the high-quality recreational experience that the county provides for its residents and for its visitors. The county historically actually has done a pretty good job of being vigilant in these matters. They did buy a large portion in September of 1980 of Mount Pisgah, right? About 1,100 acres that were purchased, and that helped connect the switchback to Mock Chunk Lake Park to the Canal Heritage Corridor. They did now miss an opportunity in the 80s to buy the top of Flagstaff, which, you know, we saw now the results of maybe not being able to take advantage of that opportunity. But I think three things that this issue calls into mind. One, the need for us to be ever vigilant of potential code changes or zoning changes that could affect the quality of life and the quality of recreational experience here in Carbon County. Secondly, that we do need to be proactive when opportunities present themselves, because this property was available for sale just a couple years ago. And again, we collectively and the previous board didn't necessarily have the foresight or recognize how at least a consideration of a purchase of that property could have been positive for county residents and help mitigate the possibility of a threat to the experience out at Mock Chunk Lake Park. And I think thirdly, and not indicating one way or another my support or being opposed to the forthcoming ballot measure. But again, if funds were available to the county, this is one of those opportunities, even through friendly condemnation, where the county could take potential action to protect of the watershed for the residents and visitors. That's all I have.
Just to add a little bit on that, probably back around 2002, I would think it was, when the county made a pretty good investment in eliminating the holding tanks at Mock Chunk Lake Park. We installed a sewer line, grinder pumps, etc. And while we're still being billed on usage, because naturally it's not getting used much in the winter, but it gets used pretty hard in the during the summer. And the goal of that, of course, was to protect the water quality. And Jim Thorpe does use that water from the lake, at least as a backup for their drinking water supply. So county has invested in trying to ensure the quality of water in Mock Chunk Lake Park. Fortunately, we had one yet that's all the way out in Summit Hill, would cost us at the boat launch fee would cost us an arm and a leg to try to connect to a system, and Summit Hill has nothing in that area either that we could really connect to, but, yeah, we're really concerned about the, quality of water in that area.
I would add that we are improving and redoing that boat launch B bathroom and
Yeah,
tank
we
system
are
out there
improving it.
with the grant
They
we
have
received.
another location, a bile, that they are no longer using, I don't think, a bile system for degrading the waste, et cetera, so that is not in use. I do want to compliment Commissioner Lukasevich for an excellent presentation at the Tuesday morning of last week on the PAC legislation and the green light in particular at the County Commissioners Association at the opening of the business session, and getting the word out there for our veterans. I think he did make one mistake, though, not intentionally, was I think Dauphin County already passed theirs, according to the commissioner at the board meeting, they were the second
Trying-
county to
yeah.
pass it. So,
Right. Yeah.
not that I'm trying to correct you,
Yeah.
but that the Pennsylvania counties are stepping up to the plate.
Yeah.
It is my point, and trying to get these passed as soon as possible, and it would be great to have 100%, 67 counties, to be the first one in the, first state to completely pass that green light or resolution and take part in those programs, so did an excellent job.
If I could add, that's a great point. We did fail to really talk about Senator Casey coming last week. And what a great engagement that was put together to have the conversation with him, right?
Bring
Yeah,
that up.
no, yeah, that was a great engagement.
And Senator was here, we had, Christine and 4 other veterans and speak about the issues that are facing in the burn pit and that PAC legislation, how many of these gentlemen, and, Christine, sorry if I exclude the females, because they too were exposed to a lot of chemicals these times, and one person, 32 years old, and on disability because of it at 32 years of age, because of his respiratory problems. So, and I was amazed myself, being a veteran, unfortunately, I was not exposed to those things, but the amount of veterans that are exposed in the different capacities that they served, it didn't matter what branch of the service you served in. It's the Air Force, you think they're up in the air and they're clean air, no. They get to these military bases, et cetera, and close to the burn pits and the burning and the smoke and the haze, and what did they say, how long the burn pit was? It was
Yeah, that very long. What was that, the size of that one?
The one where I was
Yeah.
at was about 3 or 4 football fields.
Yeah, a burn pit,
a
yeah.
burn pit that big. So unfortunately, I think that's where the public is not aware of that, how these veterans were exposed to all those things and the toxic. Well, we're seeing a lot about Camp Lejeune right now, with even the families being contaminated here in the States, and of all places, should not be happening here in the state, shouldn't be happening anywhere. But I think we certainly have to step up to the plate and ensure that these people that sacrifice every day and spend their whole lives sometimes serving our country, that they are properly taken care of. So we had a lot of discussion on that, and a lot of the issues they face, transportation and mental health issues, all that good stuff, together with vets, the suicide programs, and tried to stress a lot of that to Senator Casey. And I think we did, I think it was an eye-opener for him as well, with what was talked about at that round table.
Yeah. And I would say to the press, if we have agreement of the participants in Senator Casey office, minus the comments that might be kind of HIPAA protected, we could seek an opportunity maybe to view the conversation though, but we'd have to reach out to the participants in regards to that, because we did not have any press present at the time. Blue Ridge had a little conversation at the end. So if there is an interest, just email us, let us know, and we can reach out just to see if, the participants would be receptive for a viewing of the recorded session, because it was recorded. All right, that's all I have.
Just one other thing real quick. I had the opportunity, had to leave Lancaster on Wednesday last week, and the reason why I wasn't here Thursday was I went up to State College for a meeting on the EMS task force on the responses and the problems we're having with EMS, EMTs, lack of, and everything. And even told this past week, they were even having trouble getting ambulances now. There's a shortage of ambulances. Lehighton has 3 that are on their last leg, always in repairs. They need, trying to order 3, and it's gonna be a while, but we're working on the retention, recruitment programs, et cetera. But my other point I wanted to make is I got had the opportunity to stop just outside of State College, outside of State College there for Ag Progress Days. And I'll tell you what, it was the first time I was there. I didn't get there in time for the elected officials luncheon, but the showed the programs that Penn State, the 4-H, the conservation districts, etc. Even they even had a grain elevator rescue class there with a bin and instructors and fire department on grain rescues, and we were involved in one of those one time up in Packer Township when I was in emergency management back then. So it was a great opportunity to get out and talk to these people about the environment, seeds, planting, you name it. It was really impressive, the amount of equipment, the size of equipment that was on display there, names I never heard of, equipment that you have to have a couple thousand acres of land to be able to use it, because the normal farms around here, I don't even think you could turn around with one of those things when the sides are out and everything. I mean, it was really impressive with the even the kids and the 4-H's and everything, and the show and the demonstration. How many places can you go? You don't go to a fair and see them demonstrating this equipment out in the fields. And I couldn't believe how many people were there. So it was just a great experience, and I would recommend that next August, if you see the Ag Progress Days, go out and just walk around. It's really very interesting. So enough of the talk. Let's move on to our next meeting. A record-breaking day with a hearing and 4 meetings. So okay, meeting adjourned. Now, if you're ready, we'll reconvene convene our retirement board meeting. Turn it over to our secretary treasurer, our secretary Mark Severcek.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's number 5, right?
Number 5.
All right. First, I will seek a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting held July 21st, 2022.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Zelinka?
I abstained since I was absent.
Okay. Mr. Svercek, yes. Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Abstain since I was absent.
Okay, thank you. Any guests concerning retirement board business? Okay. Report of executive sessions, there weren't any held. Next, I'll seek a motion to ratify the warrant. That would include checks number 40825 to 40835 and direct deposit number 7017924 to 7018326 for the month of July.
Motion to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Zelinka?
Yes.
Mr. Svercek, yes. Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Arner? I'm sorry, Mr. Notstein.
Yes, again.
Thank you.
Why do we have more votes?
You got 2 today. Okay. Next is the retirement activity report for the month of July. There were 8 retirement refunds and 1 death benefit processed. Total disbursements for the month of July were $580,634.06, and the portfolio value as of July 31st, 2022, $86,097,092. And I'm glad the Times News is here today because we're having a rebound on the portfolio balances. Just for reference, the June 30th balance was as low as $82,572,390. I always like to update the board as of the previous Friday, which everybody has that report. As of August 12th, it's up even further to $87,951,974, which is a rebound from June of 6.5%. So we're heading back in the right direction. Thank you. All right, and next would be correspondence. I did not receive any correspondence. Solicitors report.
Thank you, no report.
Okay. Investment managers or other reports, Mrs. Wilson of Marquette will be joining us in September instead of this meeting to review the second quarter. Any new business for the retirement board? Any old business for the retirement board? Any further business? No?
Okay, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
All right. Amy, go ahead.
Good morning. One question I have actually is with Christine. What center did you say was gonna be coming in on Wednesdays?
The Scranton Vet Center.
And I know over the last few weeks, months, you've been looking at salaries and all that kind of stuff and making changes, taking out, different grades and stuff. And where does that stand with the salary study? Do you guys have any updates on that?
Right now, we're in the phase where Evergreen Solutions is canvassing 8 counties to look at comparative positions. That, I think there's about 50 positions we asked them to look at with 8 different, what we call comparable counties, and that's where they are in the process. But the process is behind.
Okay, I was gonna say, have they given you any timeline? Cause I know that's been quite a while it's been going on.
No, no.
All I
No,
can say is
fortunately.
it's supposed to be here by end of June or July.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I have, and thank you.
Can you talk about the Second Harvest Food Bank and what agreement you guys have with them?
That's like the normal thing. You have to have a lead, to get the money, you know, like either through the state or federal government. So they're our lead for the county.
And that just helps give the food bank, I guess.
Yeah, and that's like a standard thing. We have to have somebody doing that for us. And just like I think that other one, where like the aging with the food, that's like another thing that we're putting bids out for that. That's for the food, for, like they give out them frozen meals every week, and also the food that's at the senior centers.
And just, I mean, how important was it to get this election money to help, with those costs?
What was that question?
Get that election money that you guys approved then.
Well, it's always good to get $200,000, as long as it works out for us, I guess.
Actually, instead of spending, like that, we
Yeah.
double out to $448,000, let's say. If we would've spent it out of our funds, we would've lost that 224, so that we would've been down 224, so at least we're still up there, we're 224,000 is a big chunk to refuse, and hopefully everything works well, that we do comply with all their, issues there.
And I think it's one of these things too, like we're always, they're mandating things for us, and we never get paid for it. This might be one of the first things that's mandated that we're getting paid for. I mean, and maybe us squawking, I hope we don't, in the next mandate we get, I hope they continue with that to give us funding, because that's what's happening with the little, I don't know how the bigger counties combat with it, but we don't have the resources, the money to do this. I mean, a couple $100,000 is a threat to our budget, so this is something, I think it's real good, and I hope it's not one of them things that runs out in 2 years.
Exactly.
I mean, if it's in there, hopefully it'll be good for the next 20 years.
Yeah, I can't help but, bring up our mental health issues and our funding from human services that was cut by 10% 11 years ago. And look at what our costs have been since, and we have not had an increase in 11 years after a 10% cut. So who's the bad guys when it comes time to approve a budget and hire people? Who pays and who has to raise the taxes? Yours truly here. We're the ones that have to follow their rules. They write the rules, they mandate, and we pay. And that's the problem I have with, on the state and federal level, mandates is telling us what we have to do, the service that we have to provide, at what level we have to provide, but not give us the funding, or even matching with the cost of living over the years after a cut of 10%.
So state legislators are proud of the fact that they kept funding level. But we all know at 9% inflation, we actually took a significant cut in the value of service that can be provided in the forthcoming year.
Anything else?
Good, thank you.
I'm sorry I arrived late, but on the salary board, was all this approved, 3, 4, 5?
Yes,
Yep.
all of them are.
Yeah, we're all,
Yes.
Alright,
Yeah.
thank you.
that's it? Okay. All right, have a good one.